Everyone. I'm Nicole from Life Misspelled, and I'm actually not prepared to be doing a video right now, because you could tell by the quality, the lack of makeup on my face. I'm about to take my kids to the pool, but I am a matrix recoder, and a lot of you out there are also matrix recoders, and you may not be aware that you are. I wasn't aware that I was. Always knew I was different, just didn't really understand. Anyway, I'm being called to read chapter 11 of Bringers of the Dawn, so that's what I'm going to do. It's the name of the game. In order to survive in the times that are coming, it is imperative to move into the idea of thought manifestation or superconsciousness. Superconsciousness is only a word to you at this time. It is not a concept that is inside of you yet, because you cannot conceive of being so in tune and filled with so much information. Yet as you evolve, that is what you're moving towards. Okay. There are those of you who are very aware that this movement of consciousness could begin to sweep the planet, and they are banking on it not occurring. It has already occurred. We have come back into your past to assure you of this. Thought comes first. Experience is always secondary. It is never the other way around. That you have the experience, then you base the thought around it. Always, your experience is a direct reflection of what you are thinking. Clarity and recognition of your own power are the bottom line. Your thoughts form your world all of the time. Not cafeteria style. All of the time. Because you are bombarded with so many frequency control vibrations that attempt to keep you from being clear, you fluctuate. You must, as a species, make it your intention to stay very clear, to stay very centered, and to always bring yourself into the moment. Stop living in the future or living in the past, and always live in the now. Say to yourself, what do I want? I want to accelerate my personal evolution. I want spirit to assist me in a greater capacity. I want my body to regenerate. I want to emanate health. I am willing to give up difficulty so that I can be a living example of what humanity can be. It is this line of thinking, this commanding from your being and calling out what you want with clarity, that brings you everything in acceleration. Watch your patterns. If you find yourself denying that you created a portion of your experience, and you don't want to own it as your creation, simply look at it, say, isn't this interesting? I do this all the time. I don't want to own what I am creating. If I don't like it, I blame someone else. Let me see how long I will do this, and let me come up with a solution to develop a different pattern of behavior. Don't judge yourself. No ego shaming. Begin to say to yourself, I will accept responsibility for all that I am involved in. I will accept responsibility for everything that happens to me. If I don't like what is happening to me, I will begin to ask myself why I create things that I don't like. Maybe it's going to get my attention about something so that I can change what is really not working for me that I cannot see. Always act as if there is an impeccable purpose to everything that you do. Act as if your highest good and your highest opportunity involve working through every event that you were involved in. Always act this way. If you are walking down the street and someone says, I've got a gun in your back, let me have your purse. Act as if you are being given an opportunity for your highest growth. You never know what the results are going to be if you begin to act this way. When you act as if, you act without knowing and without expectation. This is the attitude. If you all could have this attitude and act as if every event is designed to propel you further in your growth and awareness, then you might turn around and find that the person holding the gun in your back is a counterpart or portion of yourself. You might be able to heal something. You might be given an opportunity to do something you are afraid of. Do not be afraid of what you create. Trust what you create. Trust that there is always something in it for you. Do not sweep your dramas under the rug as if they are dirty old horrible things and you never wish to see them again. Get finished with these dramas. Stop cycling in them and being lost in them. However, understand that the drama you have held with your mother, your brother, your sister, your lover is something that you may use 20 years later to come to a whole new realization. So let these life dramas be like a file for you. Finish them up, resolve them as best as you can. Create peace, accept your part in them, and let them cycle back through your consciousness to teach you something. Let them begin. Let them be ongoing treasures of experience for yourself rather than hackles that you want to get past. Emotion is connected with these things, and remember, emotion can take you into other realms of activity. Do you believe that you only create your reality in certain areas and that in other areas you are disempowered? Do you argue that you have no control over some areas of your life? Do you give up what is naturally yours because society tells you cannot have it? You will find that events do not come out of the blue. Some of you believe that you create your own reality, but that others do not create theirs, especially little babies who have all kinds of things happen to them or children who are abused. It is a difficult concept for many of you to grasp, that seemingly helpless children or starving people also create their own reality. Whenever you buy into the victim mentality, you send people the idea that they are powerless, and you make that probability one for yourselves. You must learn to honor other people's dramas and lessons. Realize that the newspaper is not going to tell you about the potential change that exists for all of those involved in a particular scenario, because newspapers do not report and cover things in that way. Do not understand the underlying synchronicities of events. Your media exposes only the external so-called facts and ignores the rich riverbend and emotional significance that accompanies human dramas and lessons. Those who are involved in dramas, in which it looks like someone is a victim, are usually so out of touch with their feelings, they do not connect how they feel with others. Victims find victims. Victors find victors. So please, with any newspaper event or world drama in which it looks as if people are hopeless victims, honor them and honor yourself by saluting that they created their own reality. It may not be a reality that you need to learn from, or anything you feel a need to participate in. You must understand that others go through the realms of density to bring them to light. Sometimes the greatest enlightenment lies in the greatest catastrophes and the greatest difficulties. When you go to a restaurant and order something you want, and the chef prepares it and the waiters bring it to you, you order it. However, you don't make it. Somehow the cooks or the spiritual energy make it, yet you select it to be put before you. It will not be put before you unless you go into the restaurant to order it in the first place. So you are responsible for it and you pay for it. Life is the same way. Life is like a restaurant. Learn how to order what you want from life, like you do in a restaurant, and then trust that because you ordered it, it will be put before you. When you go into a restaurant, don't worry over every item and wonder whether or not you deserve to have it. Well, sometimes you do. Sometimes you say, well, I don't deserve to have that. That costs $15, and I can only have something that costs $7 or less. The way you act in restaurants is a wonderful indication of the way you act in life. It is an incredible teaching to understand. When you go into a restaurant, do you simply order and say, this is what I want, and trust that it's going to come to you? Or do you worry that things are going to be screwed up? As soon as the order is in, do you follow the waiter into the kitchen and say, oh, they probably won't have the right lettuce. They probably won't saute those onions just so. And they won't have those kinds of mushrooms that I want. No, you trust it will be presented to you exactly the way that you want it, and you let it go. When it is presented to you, you say thank you. If it is not quite, you ask for what is needed, and then you proceed. Look at the divine nonchalance you have when you order things in a restaurant. This is how you order up life. Get clear on what you want, order it, and be done with it. Don't keep calling up spirit to see if they got the order or give advice on how to fill it. You ordered it. Trust that it will come. You are a result of your thoughts. If there is nothing else you learn on this planet, you will learn that this is the rule in this reality and the role of many other realities. Thought creates experience. Why not give yourself a gift and begin to think of yourself in a capacity that is exceptional, magnificent, and uplifting? Free yourselves from the need to have rest, from the need to have the rest of society agree with you. Validate yourself. For some of you, this is very difficult. How do you validate yourself when you're in the habit of not doing it? Your words are either empowering or disempowering. We want you to have the courage to live your light. So we want to emphasize to you and convince you in whatever way possible that your thoughts formulate your world. Eliminate the words should and trying from your vocabulary. If you were to pay money every time you say these words, you would be in great debt. You are in a great debt of disempowerment or impotence. Should implies that you are operating under someone else's sovereignty. We would like to remind you that you are sovereign unto yourself. If someone is trying to put out a newsletter or trying to change their patterns, they can try for the rest of their life. Trying is not doing. Whenever you use the word trying, you will not accomplish anything because trying is an excuse. I tried. In your own life, you use these words. I am creating. I am creating. I am creating. I am doing. I am manifesting. Forget I am trying. When you become a doer and are able to manifest what you want in life, you set yourself up as a mirror for many people. There has been a belief that there is a limited amount of everything, and that only one person or the other can be a doer or a manifester. When you begin to show that you can bend the laws of reality, other people do not like it sometimes because they think you have something they want and they can't get it unless you don't have it. If you put yourself behind others and are afraid of having what others do not have because you think there is not enough, you do not understand that as you allow the divine principles to work in your body and anchor themselves upon the planet, that you become a living example of light. You allow the underlying purpose of light to move through your vehicle, your Merkaba, and you become a living example of what others can do. This is the high vibration that we intend to teach all of you. We want you to understand that there is no limitation. There is no limitation on the entire planet. Each person on the whole planet can operate in cooperation and in a uniqueness of being. Whatever gifts of spirit and materiality come your way, don't think that you are more lucky than others. Instead, simply understand that you are able to get the divine principles to work in your physical body, and you can show others how. You can say, listen, it works. I've been able to do it. You can do it too. We spend hours teaching people about not being afraid to manifest. Each of you is frightened because you grew up with an ethic that says only if you work for something is it of any value. If you do not put in hard work, you cannot get things. It is imperative for all of you to look at this idea of hard work and where it came from. Look at your parents and the belief systems that they had. We are talking about birthing a consciousness that represents the new human species that learns how to do things effortlessly. Effortlessly. If something is not being done effortlessly, then forget it. If it looks like it is too much work, something is telling you it is not the way. Only when something comes together effortlessly and simply fits, with no one doing too much to it, it is right. If you all begin to live like this, you will completely change how the species of consciousness approaches life. It is not irresponsible or a cop-out. It is a new way of carrying bricks from one place to another. One time we talked about how a big pile of bricks with a group of people and asked them, how do you move the bricks? They all said, well, you pick them up one by one. And we said no. No one ever thought of hiring someone else to do it. If your assignment is moving bricks from here to there, how are you going to do it? Your first answer may be, well, I will move them. I will pick them up. However, you could call up someone and say, move these bricks for me. If you do that, you're still doing the assignment. You're doing what needs to be done. Do you think that we're going to chastise you if you don't do it yourself? No. You're still getting the job done. You see the difference? Money seems to be an issue with everyone.